Hi guys, if you're new to my channel, my name is Ivan Panayotov and I'm a professional tattoo artist since more than 10 years. I started my YouTube channel a few months ago with the idea to share with you my experience, and the stuff I have learned in my career helped me make a living for me and my family doing the thing I love the most, and this is the art in all meanings. However, learning to tattoo only by watching tutorials is impossible, and actually all of you have to make an extra effort to achieve your dreams. The only thing I can do for you is to motivate you that it's in your hands to do it. I'll help you to go through the process a bit easier than me, learning from my mistakes. Actually, I never expect this big interest what you're showing me in the last few months, and I wanted to take the chance to thank each and every one of you for the support and love that you were showing me in the comment section below my videos, as well as my Instagram account and my email. You make me feel useful, and this motivates me more and more for making this content for you. In today's video I'm going to present you a big cover-up I did few weeks ago. It took me 2 sessions in a row, each around 6 hours to finish this piece, and now I'm going to take you with me through the process and some of the most important stuff you need to know about the cover-up tattoos in general. I've decided to make a bit longer video for you where I will speak about what I'm using as a materials, how I make my composition, how difficult it is actually to make a cover-up, and why I actually like to do it so much. Basically, I will share as always all my thought process when I'm doing something like this, but to distract you from my long philosophical speaking and avoid you making fall asleep, of course, I will show with you my real-time hand movements and also some close-up where you can see the needle depth as well. On the end of this video, I will announce something that I was working in the last few weeks for, which will be very interesting for some of you out there. So make sure you stick till the end of the tutorial and find out what it is. So I hope you will enjoy it as always, and the only thing I ask in return is to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, so it can show my videos to more and more people like you in future. Now without further ado, let's start with the tutorial. For this tattoo I will be using the AD Pancho set made by world famous ink, which I really like when we speak about covering up an old tattoo. Those are very solid colors. However, I will not use the complete set, which is made up from 6 different tones, because I actually think that as simple I make the tattoo, as longer it stays good and strong through the years. No exception in this case. I will put also a cup of distilled water on my working station so I can wash my needles from time to time, avoiding dirty up the colors when jumping from tone to tone. Now my needle configuration is more or less the same for each and every realistic tattoo I'm doing. It is 3 round liner, 7 round shader, 7 magnum soft edge and 13 magnum soft edge. But as I always say it, all those are personal preferences for the artist. And for me this is not the most important information you can take out of my videos. Anyhow, I see this question always under my videos, so I decided to mention it one more time. The machine I'm working with is Stigma Rotary Spear, and I already spoke more in depth why I use it and why I prefer it than the other tattoo machines in the market. So make sure you check my other video as well. And now, as we already know what I'll be using for this tattoo, let's dive even more deep in my head and let me share with you some of the most important stuff and thoughts I go through when I'm making such a big and difficult piece. First of all, let's start from the composition and how I built the project. As you see, the old tattoo is some special kind of panther with some watercolor splashes and some other stuff around it. So the first association I made is that the first wish of the customer was to make some kind of panther tattoo. For me actually it's very important to understand what the client wish was and try to represent their idea in the best possible way, visually considering the skin type, placement of the body, and like in this case, covering up an old tattoo. However, panther is anyway a good reference for cover up, cause it has a lot of dark spots and this will hide the biggest part of the old tattoo into its details. Also, the hairs from the animal allowed me to improvise and use some of the forms from the old tattoo, transforming it to the new piece. Every time when I'm preparing for a cover-up, I'm thinking about making a design which the client will be proud to wear even if it was a clear space. In this case, I was sure that he will be happy to have a well-made panther, as we can see that this was his wish in the first place. Anyhow, if I do only the animal portrait, the tattoo will be kind of boring, so I have decided to add something that will take away the focus from the cover-up. Here comes in place the chain. I've really liked the idea of broken chains under the panther, cause this brings big amount of dynamic in the tattoo. Of course, as it's not apart from the old tattoo, it allowed me to work with a lot of light tones, which will directly make a good balance in the picture. Then I draw few parts from the broken chain all over the piece, which also gives a nice touch to the end result, and I was pretty happy, by the way. It was kind of balanced piece with nice motion, and I was sure that the client will love it. To be honest, cover-ups are really difficult subject of our job, and to make perfect cover-up you need to have also a perfect client for it. We are working on a people's skin, so the most of the time we must follow the wishes of the clients. It is not like on a paper on a canvas, where we as an artist have the complete freedom to create whatever our desire is at the moment. Here we're supposed to make something on somebody who will wear it for the rest of his life. And what I mean by perfect client is not only to have a perfect skin for tattooing, which is by the way very important, but a client who understands and respects us as an artist and give us the artistic freedom to create something special for him. Many artists don't get it that the big part of this understanding is basically our job as professionals to make sure that the customers are aware of what's possible and what not. However, you can see that I start gently step by step to build the whole project, starting from the bottom up with the darkest parts. For me it's very important to fill the darks first to see how dark I need to go to cover the old tattoo. You can see that I am running between black and dark grey to make deepness and cover as much as possible skin. My movements are slow and I try to avoid coming back too much on the same place again and again. This is very important because like this you avoid damaging the skin too much. I'm working on a very low voltage around 6.4, which slow my machine enough to make me very precise of what I'm doing. I'm working mostly with my 7 Magnum soft edge at this stage of my process, making my way up to the lighter tones. Once I'm done with all the darks, I can slowly come back and add some of the halftones. Step by step I'm building the complete tattoo starting from the bottom and making my way up to the top. I like this approach because it reduces tremendously the pain for my client from working all over the place all the time and also gives me chance to save my stencil till the very end of the project. Which is by the way very important for me when I'm doing so difficult piece. However, if I want to work 2 days in a row, I have to be sure that I made a good plan of building the project. As calm the client is, as better and better I gonna work. It's the whole workflow that makes the end result. It should be no unexpected troubles during the process, and only then you will be able to give 100% of yourself in every tattoo. Now the last thing before I start with the highlights is the background. For me today, this is one of the darkest part from the whole tattoo. I make it like this because it will help my main object, in this case the panther, to appear not so dark. If I do the background considerably darker, the panther will naturally start to look much lighter in comparison to it. That's why I love so much to do the background on the end of the tattoo, because for me this is one of the most important stuff of each of my tattoos. It's there to help my main object to stay even stronger on the end. But this doesn't necessarily means that the background should be always the darkest part of the tattoo. The real mastering comes when you learn how to use it in your advantage. I have almost no details in the background instead of some abstract shapes that helps me to form a beautiful end of my tattoo, following the form of the shoulder. I'm using bigger needle like 13 Magnum soft edge because this allows me to cover larger spot much faster. And also it's much easier to make a smooth transactions between the different tones. And now the last question I want to answer on this video is: did the white color actually cover up the black? Well, the answer here is it depends. I mean, it really depends on a lot of stuff like type of skin, how dark is actually the tattoo under, technique of the artist and how he packed the color under the skin, etc, etc. But anyhow, to be honest, I don't rely on white to cover up the old tattoo. The truth is that it's beyond my skills to predict if the white will stay with the ears or if the customer will take care of it, and so on and so on. I mean, I try to make my design that I don't have to rely on this. On the end, the highlights are really small part of my job anyway. They're just a touch which gives the final wow effect, if you will. But for sure, it's not something that I pay a big attention on. However, I recommend a fast touch-up after healing, even if it heals good, just to bring the light a bit up and the darks a bit darker. This will definitely help the tattoo in the long run and make you and the client much happier. And this is the idea of all, isn't it? Many people also ask me how the cover stays after healing and is the old tattoo shows through. And again, the answer here is it depends. I mean, it could sound strange for some of you, but it's normal that maybe some of the old tattoo shows a bit. More important is not if you can recognize some small parts from the old tattoo, but how you're watching it. If you're focusing on this, then yes, the old tattoo shows through. But if you pay attention to the whole picture, and of course take in consideration the whole process, making a completely new and beautiful tattoo out of something that looks impossible before, then no, it's totally okay and it works great. On the end, this is also one of the reasons why I like to do cover-ups, but I don't accept every project. Like I mentioned before, for the perfect cover-up you need to have a perfect customer. The customer that understands very good what is possible and what's not. The customer that appreciates what you're doing, and mostly the customer that hates his old tattoo. This is the best client in my opinion, because they allowed you to make almost everything just to delete the old tattoo. However, I really like to do this kind of tattoos because when the customers see the end result in the mirror after such a long and difficult session, the reaction is speechless. I can't explain the feeling when you see how happy the client actually is, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I like to do cover-ups. Alright guys, now finally about the announcement I've mentioned at the beginning. The last couple of months were amazing for me, because I've received many and positive feedback and responses from your side. This is something that motivates me more and more every single day. There were hundreds of questions regarding to my work, and because of this huge interest, I've decided to start a mentorship program. There, I will be helping you individually to improve your skills as an artist. I will share with you my experience building me from a beginner to a professional tattoo artist, winning awards in one of the best conventions in Europe, and co-owner in one of the most successful tattoo shops in Switzerland. Shop working with more than 20 world-known tattoo artists. However, the program will include personal coaching, which means direct contact with me, where I will help you to choose the right equipment for you and how to use it. I will give you advices how to improve your work and how to build a strong portfolio and success in social networks like Instagram and Facebook. All in all, I will lead you in your way to become a professional and successful tattoo artist. Be aware that the coaching program will be for a limited amount of artists, because I want to take a personal care in the education of each of you. I'll be not able to accept all of you. So if you would like to know more about the mentorship program and apply, please send me an email to ivanpanayotovtattoo@gmail.com with small description of yourself, how long have you been tattooing, and a few of your latest works. I'll personally check all the requests and get back to you with an answer. You can also subscribe and hit the small notification bell. Like this, I will notify you always when I post a new video. Now, thanks for watching, love you all, and if you have any other questions, please let me know.